لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد, dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to this new episode of Women Around the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Our guest for tonight is a woman unlike other women, a mother of the believers who is someone to stand on her own, a companion that is known for things that other companions did not have, a wife of the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam, whom Allah Azza wa Jal sent him to rule something of her destiny, something that was essential in her life. Jibreel, who does not come down to earth except for mega things and important things, came for this important issue, and that is that the Prophet ﷺ revokes her divorce, reconciles with her for a reason that we will come to discuss later on, inshaAllah. She is our mother, Hafsa, may Allah be pleased with her. Her father is Umar ibn al-Khattab, the second caliph, and the second closest companion to the Prophet ﷺ. Her mother is Zainab bint Mad'un. Hafsa was born 5 years which means that when she migrated to Medina, she was 18 years of age. And she is the eldest of Umar ibn Khattab's children, may Allah be pleased with him, which indicates the falsehood of the story that so many people talk about when Umar allegedly said, may Allah be pleased with him, that he once buried one of his daughters alive, and while burying her alive, she was cleaning his beard from the dust that was coming from that grave. And he used to cry whenever he remembers it. Having Hafsa is a clear evidence that such a story is false and not befitting of someone such as Umar. May Allah be pleased with him. And Hafsa was older than the other son of Umar, Abdullah ibn Umar, the great narrator, the great scholar. But we are to talk about women around the Prophet ﷺ and not his companions. Hafsa was very young when she got married to Khunais ibn Hudhafa, may Allah be pleased with them. They both accepted Islam together. Khunais went to Abyssinia in the first migration, and he was with Uthman ibn Affan and the daughter of the Prophet ﷺ, Ruqayyah, and they were about 12 men and 4 women. Then he came back with those who came back from Abyssinia. Then he took Medina. So Hafsa was among the first to migrate to Medina. Khunais, may Allah be pleased with him, was one of the great companions of the Prophet ﷺ. He fought by the side of the Prophet ﷺ during the Battle of Badr, only to suffer serious injuries which led to his death, and he became one of the martyrs of the Battle of Badr. Of course, being a 20-year-old young woman, widowed at such an early age, this brought a lot of sadness to her heart. And no one can blame her for that. This is only human. Umar ibn Khattab, her father, whenever he saw her in such a state, his heart was broken. So he started looking for a potential suitor for his daughter. Now, being in his shoes, one would feel proud. How do I go around and look for a spouse for my own daughter? They should come. And this is partly true. But here, we have to weigh the pros and cons. Would you want to wait for 10, 20 years without getting any proposals for your daughter and watching her become older and older just because of your pride? Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, had the interest. He had the. So he went to Uthman, and Uthman was recently widowed as well. His wife Ruqayyah had died while the Prophet ﷺ was at the Battle of Badr. And it would be more than logical to look for another wife. So he approached Uthman and said, Uthman, how about marrying my daughter Hafsa? So Uthman told him, give me a couple of days, I need to think about it. And a few days later he said, with a kind apology, that I'm not interested in getting married. I'm still mourning my beloved wife. And this is a different issue. It was a true love story known to all of Quraysh, the marriage of Uthman and the daughter of the Prophet ﷺ, Ruqayyah, may Allah be pleased with them. They were the most handsome and beautiful couple. But this is Allah's destiny. Allah willed it that she dies. So he was depressed and he did not feel like getting married at that moment. Did Umar give up? Nope. He went to a time about 51 years of age. So he was much older than Uthman. And he's older than Umar himself. Yet, a father looks for a real man that can protect his daughter. What do I, as a father, look for? A rich person? No. Someone with influence? No. Someone who is an athlete? No. I look for all of this, if possible. I look for a real man who can be my daughter's rock. She can depend on him. He can respect her, love her, and have mercy on her. So Umar went to the second candidate that he thinks that would be best for his daughter. He went to Abu Bakr. And Abu Bakr was his best friend. And he was the best friend of the Prophet ﷺ at the same time. So he went to his best friend and said to him, Abu Bakr, what do you think of marrying Hafsa? Would you consider that? And him did not even apologize, did not even reply to him. He just left him and went. Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, said that I felt stabbed, betrayed. I felt so hurt, more than what I felt with Uthman. Because Uthman at least apologized. And this is demand and supply. I don't have any ill feeling towards Uthman. If I propose to you, that doesn't mean that you have to accept my proposal. It's demand and supply. But with Abu Bakr, it was a different story. Abu Bakr did not even reply to me. Few days later, the Prophet ﷺ proposed to Umar so that he would marry Hafsa. And of course, Umar was more than happy to give his daughter to the Prophet ﷺ. Who can be better than the Prophet ﷺ? Then he met Abu Bakr. So Abu Bakr started saying to him, Umar, did you feel bad towards me not replying to you? Yes, by Allah, I felt hurt. Then Abu Bakr explained to him what he could not understand at that time. Abu Bakr said, O Umar, O my brother, O my dear friend, I heard the Prophet ﷺ a few days ago mentioning Hafsa. Now remember, Abu Bakr's daughter is married to the Prophet ﷺ. Aisha is married to the Prophet. Yet the Prophet was mentioning getting married to Hafsa in front of, quote unquote, his father-in-law. And that was normal to Abu Bakr, because they know that marrying more than one wife would, that this is your right, there's nothing wrong in that. So Abu Bakr said to Umar, O Umar, I heard the Prophet ﷺ mentioning Hafsa and his interest in marrying her. And then you proposed to me. And by Allah, I would not have disclosed the secret of the Prophet ﷺ. How can I tell you that the Prophet has mentioned her? How can I even say such a thing or apologize from such a thing without exposing what the Prophet ﷺ has entrusted me with? Therefore, when the Prophet ﷺ proposed, now I'm telling you what had happened. By Allah, if the Prophet ﷺ did not propose, I would have accepted her marriage to myself. She's a good woman, and you're a good friend, and what can be better than us being bound by such marriage? Married someone who was a widow, was in need, and married her to strengthen the bond between him and his companions. So he married the daughter of Abu Bakr. He married the daughter of Umar, the second caliph. He gave two of his daughters, as we will come and see inshallah, to Uthman, the third caliph. And he gave his own daughter Fatima to the fourth caliph, which was Ali ibn Abi Talib, may Allah be pleased with them all. All these marriages have a reason and a purpose. Marriage is not done just because she's beautiful, or just because I have the money to get married again and again. Marriage is done for a purpose, for a wisdom, to have more in-laws, which strengthens your position in the society and allows you to do good things and transmit these good things to the community you live in. The Prophet ﷺ married Hafsa after Badr, and some say he married her on the third year of Hijrah, which is the year of the Battle of Uhud. Now, this is truly a magnificent lesson for us fathers. If you have a daughter and she's in need of marriage, but there's no one proposing, there's nothing wrong in going and looking for a good proposal for her. And it is extremely important to lower your bar. Many girls stay without marriage. When she was 18, a man proposed who was 28. She said, 10 years difference, he's too old. I want someone close to my age. So she reached 23, and the one proposing now is 35. She said, no, no, so many proposals. Now she's 28 or 30 years of age. All those who come are either widowed with children, or wanting a second or a third wife, or someone who's over 60 and looking for a nurse to take care of him. Don't raise the bar too much unless you are Miss Universe. But if you are a normal person, marriage is not about the looks. Marriage is not about the ability to go to Marbella or to go to Côte d'Azur every summer for a month vacation. Marriage is about respect, about love, about affection, about protection. Even if he is poor, even if he's not that handsome, what counts is the... Unfortunately, we were brainwashed all over the past years with movies, TV series, soap operas. So our perception of life has differed. Women may fight not to become a second wife. They would rather stay unmarried rather than marrying someone who was divorced or has a wife or has children. Then what? End up biting their hands and wishing they had accepted that. It's too late. So we have to be realistic, and we have to weigh things according to their reality. Hafsa was among all the companions, the female companions, she was among the very, very few who knew how to read and write. And this was really rare among the women of Arabia at that time. And she used to be involved in poetry and literature. And whenever she spoke, her words were few but profound, deep. Throughout the years she lived in the Prophet's house, alayhi salatu wasalam, and she lived for 8 years only. She learned a lot from the Prophet, alayhi salatu wasalam, and she conveyed to us how he lived, his generosity, the way he treated her. She learned from the Prophet, alayhi salatu wasalam, so many things that she told us, that the Prophet used to fast the first 3 days of every month, Monday, Thursday, and a Monday from the second week. And she used to say that whenever the رَبِّ قِنِي عَذَابَكَ يَوْمَ تَبْعَثُ عِبَادَكَ. Oh Allah, protect me from your torment when you resurrect your servants. She narrated more than 60 hadith, and these are found in the Sahih and also in the Sunan. And she conveyed to the Muslim Ummah a lot of great knowledge that all of us are benefiting from till date. May Allah be pleased with her. Now, Mother Aisha was known for her jealousy, and so was Mother Hafsa, and so was Mother Zainab. What is this? When you're married to one man, all of them fight to be his favorite and to gain his love and attention more than the others. And this is human nature. This is natural that women become jealous. And this is how Allah Azza wa Jal created them. Mother Aisha told us that the wives of the Prophet, led by Aisha, which included Hafsa, Sauda, Safiya, and another party led by Salama, which had Zainab bint Jahsh, Habiba, etc. So you can imagine the plotting, the hidden diplomacy, the strategies that these righteous, pious, practicing mothers of ours used to do, and how the Prophet ﷺ used to live amidst all of this. It wasn't an easy ride. And the Prophet suffered ﷺ, and he suffered willingly because he knows that this is the nature of women. And we know that they had done so many things that we nowadays would not ever accept. But the Prophet ﷺ accepted it, calmed the people, and he said, your mother have become jealous, don't worry. Yes, she broke the dish. Yes, she made... Don't worry about that. Now, for one reason or the other, the Prophet ﷺ divorced Hafsa. And that was a huge shock to her father, the close friend of the Prophet ﷺ, to her family, Qudama and Uthman ibn Mad'un, her maternal uncles, and to herself, of course. The Prophet's divorce ﷺ for Hafsa was not due to hatred. He loved her. But it was to reprimand her for something we don't have knowledge of. Speculations are there. Maybe because she spread the secret that the Prophet told her ﷺ not to tell anyone. Maybe it was because this, it was because that. This is none of our business, but we have to acknowledge that it took place. Now, due to who Hafsa was, may Allah be pleased with her, Allah sent down his archangel Jibril, peace be upon him, and he told, revoke the divorce and reconcile with Hafsa. Get her back as your wife, for she is a woman that fasts all the time and prays night prayer every night, and she is your wife in paradise. Full stop. The directive came. So the Prophet immediately ﷺ complied. Look at the description. فَإِنَّهَا صَوَّامَةٌ قَوَّامَةٌ. She is a woman who frequently fasts and frequently prays night prayer. These attributes make her a gem that should be preserved. So regardless of the reason that you had divorced her for, get her back. And the Prophet ﷺ complied with that command immediately and got her back. Now, in this, we can also learn that divorce can happen even among the pious, even among the righteous and practicing. This is not something that is prohibited. Say often that the throne of Allah Azza wa Jal is shaken for divorce, and that it is the worst halal thing to Allah. This is not true. Sometimes divorce is mandatory. If you don't do it, you're sinful, depending on the scenario. Sometimes it's recommended. Sometimes it's permissible. Sometimes it's not recommended, it's makruh. And sometimes it's totally prohibited. A wise man was contemplating on divorcing his wife. So a man came to him and said, why are you contemplating on divorcing your wife? So he said, subhanallah, a gentleman is not asked about such things. A gentleman does not tell. How do you want me to expose my wife's shortcomings to you? And after few months or years, after he divorced her, the same man came to him and said, looking at him, and this is none of my business. She's someone else's wife now. Why would I tell you? So concealing the secrets is very important, and hence we don't know why he divorced her for, but we know that divorce is something that is mentioned in the Quran. Allah Azza wa Jal made a whole surah, a chapter, by the title of divorce, and the rules are mentioned in Surah Al-Baqarah and elsewhere to tell you that this is something which is part of religion, such as marriage, such as reconciliation after divorce. Now, one of her greatest attributes, that she was chosen to keep the copy, the first copy of the Quran collected. As we know, at the time of Abu Bakr, may Allah be pleased with him, a lot of those who memorized the Quran were martyred. It was suggested that they collect the Quran and put it in one master copy so that they can go to it whenever there is any fear of error, so that the Quran would be preserved. Allah pledged to preserve it. So they appointed Zayd ibn Thabit, may Allah be pleased with him, and he started the mission of collecting the Quran and putting it in surahs, ayah after ayah, as they have all memorized it. All of them memorized the Quran. So they just wanted to collect the written portions of it in a book, as Allah described it in the Quran, that it is a book. And then once it was completed, they kept this copy with Mother Hafsa, may Allah be pleased with her, and it stayed with her until the time of Uthman ibn Affan, may Allah be pleased with him, when he made 4 copies from that master copy, also appointing